Okay guys, what you're going to need for this sesh is your roller and your ball, hockey, cricket, tennis ball, golf ball, whatever you've maybe been using for some of the releases that we've been doing. Firstly, what we're going to do is our test and retest, and if you've got a stick, a dowel, or even just household object, a towel in this case. So specifically looking at our shoulder mobility, you may have seen this one before. You can take it from standing or from a seating position. I'm just turning seating just to show you this way from my camera angle. So with one hand, I'm going to go over the top, other hand, internally rotate that shoulder, and I'm getting a good grip, and I'm trying, if we can get our hands to come close to each other, great. You'll see mine, I think you can see my fingers are around pretty far away. My internal rotation is quite poor. Then I just test, retest the other side. Trying to see how I'm bending down, trying to keep nice and tall. Just go where you naturally go. Even with the towel, you can sort of walk your hands a bit close together, but you're just going for where you naturally slot in first. How the gap between hands and hands. What we're trying to get to, if it's greater than a fist distance, we know we need to work a little bit on that internal rotation. So that's our test, retest. Can use a towel if you really struggle to get the hand over. Just remember that's one over the top, one internally rotates, other hand over the top, other hand internally rotates. If you don't need the towel, just take a mental note of what that feels like. Am I able to get close? And the sensations in the shoulder internally rotating. That's particularly what we want to look at. So, taking that picture, I'll test and retest. I'm going to take the roller, line on my side, right in the crux of my armpit. This hand at the top is pointing straight up. Quite important it doesn't come sort of and rest here. It wants to rest here. It's a natural position. Get it going up. You're going to expose a bit more of the tissue underneath that armpit. From here, real simple. I go across the tissue, back and forth, go across the tissue. To move, we're going to walk all the way down to our lats, the big muscles on the side of our back of our rib cage. You simply just take yourself an inch further up the roller. Same pattern again. Across, might be a few clunks, some sticky points. Like when we massage the bottom of the foot for the hamstring exercise, you find those sticky source points. Soft face, soft jaw, breathe all through the nose if we can. Okay, trying to tell our brain we're in an okay situation, it's not stressful, and trying to control that heart rate, practicing your nasal breathing, okay, not gasping for too much air. Just going across. Okay, so again, I've got my stopwatch in front of me, and I'm just keeping an eye, 2 minutes each arm. Really take your time with it. Oh, there's a nice spot there, so I want to just close my eyes, I want to scrunch my face. I'm just going to try and soften and relax in here. Oh yeah, and just relaxing there. Okay, so work your way all the way till you're just underneath that shoulder blade, and you're opening up in your back a little bit, coming across. Use your hand for control. It's quite a nice, quite a good one to really get into because you can support yourself quite easily. So that's our release. If the foam roller is not too bad for you, I'm going to just switch sides to show you. And the other end. Get that lacrosse ball, that cricket ball in the same kind of place. Your arm can come a bit more forward for the ball just because it's a bit smaller. So a bit more precise, a bit more, you have to be a little bit more accurate the smaller the object that you've got under there. But I'm adopting the same principles. You go across the tissue to break the tissue down. You move yourself up and down to get to different areas. So across to break down. Nice, calm, easy breathing. 2 minutes on that side as well. Okay, that's our soft tissue release. Now, coming into our stretch. So this is going to be our 2 minute stretch. Remember, 2 minutes is the target that we're going for. Series of adopting the position. 30 seconds contraction one way, 30 seconds contraction the other way. And the position we're going to take up, internal rotation of the shoulder. So if I'm sitting upright, this is external rotation. Okay, we've done exercises where we've done all this, physios, we get people doing nice and strong internal rotation. But if we have poor mobility internal rotation, that doesn't compensate well with being, there's no point being strong externally if you haven't got a full range of motion internally, okay? Pecs, shoulders, scap position, neck issues can all originate from this. So internal rotation is what we're gonna look at. Side on our mat, knees up to the chest a little bit, arm. So if I'm just sort of, if I was, you were looking at that, arms at this point here, okay? I'm resting down, my head acts as kind of locking in my shoulder. So my head's resting on the shoulder there. We can take a weight to advance this, but I'm just going to show you body weight to begin with. If you want, if your hips, hip position to keep nice and level, you can stick your roller in between your legs, just keeps our hips nice and level and is a bit more comfortable lying in this position for a period of time. Now, if I just relax my arm, okay, that's as far as my internal rotation goes. My forearm should anatomically be able to get a lot lower to the floor, okay, but you can see it's just hanging, okay, and I can feel the pull and the stretch of the muscles that we're going to work. So I've anchored it in. Now, firstly, pressing start on my stopwatch, okay, so I'm going for 2 minutes here. I'm just gently pulsing, okay, not too much, you're not going to get much change out of it to begin with the first round. Pulsing here, 20 seconds, and then we're going to come into our first contraction. So my hand is on the top, and now I'm pushing down, but I'm trying to pull my arm back in that direction, okay? But I'm pushing against the hand, so pulling up this way, okay? 30 seconds. It's consistent pressure, so it's not about having to be as hard as you can, but consistent pressure. For that 15 more seconds, my hand's trying to push it down, and then should know the pattern by now. We're going to go, and those of you who haven't done these classes before, we go into the contraction in the opposite direction. So I'm going to just switch my palm around. Now I'm trying to flatten my palm, trying to push my palm lower, but I work against the hand. My head is flattening my shoulder. So I'm trying to get the palm of my right hand, this one here, down to the floor, but I'm getting resistance from my left hand. And again, we go through that pattern. 30 seconds. Okay, when we get to the end of that, we come back to our pulses, hand on the top, maybe a nice inhale, exhale. When I push a little bit, you'll feel my shoulder blades wanting to creep up. I can already feel it's easier to get a bit more change out of it. Just pushing a bit, push, 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 keeping that anchor down, push, 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 push. All trying to breathe through the nose, very nice and calm, nice and quiet. I've got 10 more seconds for my 2 minutes. And I shake out of there, okay? So that's our pattern of 2 minutes. That's our internal rotation stretch. I'm just gonna come on the other side to even that up a bit and just go through that process again. So I've done my release. Side on, nice and comfortable, arm at 90 degrees. One thing I forgot to say, nice technical point, make a nice strong fist with this hand, okay? That helps the contraction of the muscles feeding up through the elbow, up through the shoulder, and the spaces in between the shoulders. So fist with this hand, so a bit slightly incorrect me demoing here, fist with this hand. Firstly, where's my range? not very far, okay? So I'm just gonna now start my 2 minutes, looking at my watch, and I'm off. I'm just pulsing down, and then I go through the same process. 30 seconds now. I'm trying to externally rotate. I'm trying to work against my hand. Pressure on for 30 seconds. Once I get to that 30 seconds, I switch and grip your hand however you want, or right underneath, just so I say, demonstrate. Now I'm trying to push down, pushing down for 30 seconds. Get to the end of that 30 seconds. Okay, working against the hand. Maybe a nice inhale here. Nice exhale. And I'm pushing into that new range. Okay, maybe go through the pulse again. And once I get to the end of that, that 2 minutes, okay? Coming away. 2 minutes each side, go through twice. So I'm gonna go back to my first side now. back to that second side. That's our internal rotation stretch, okay? Our test retest, just taking a mental note of what that felt like for me to pull that arm up to the body. It's still not great, but from a sensation point of view, that arm is far more comfortable going into that internal rotation position. Even on my left side, okay? Really robust, stubborn area to get sort of good change out of is practice, practice, practice. But from a sensation point of view, I could tell it was just happier getting into that position. So that's the internal rotation test. How high am I getting that hand up the lower back without having to really force it? Where does it naturally go? Where does it naturally sit? That's our test retest. Roller or lacrosse ball, crux of the armpit, going across, and then 2 rounds if we've got that time to go internal rotation. Head acts to the anchor, and I'm pushing here, down for 30 seconds, pushing up for 30 seconds, pulsing 30 seconds, 2 minutes, 2 rounds, and that's in internal rotation. Really great supporting for our chest and shoulder work that we've done before, shoulder extension where we're working through, okay? So these little pre-recorded sessions are little shorter snippets to build into the big 3 that we did a couple of weeks ago, where we're looking at the complex of the whole area and the supporting muscles. That was internal rotation of the shoulder. Good luck, guys, practicing it, and I'll see you in 2 weeks Monday for a live class where we incorporate a bit more upper body movement and see how you're getting on. Cheers.